right, y'all, today we are at Mesquite Creek with Brad and Cody. Why don't y'all tell us a little bit about how long you've been in business and what you love about the Georgetown Square?
Okay, yeah, so we opened Mesquite Creek about 7 years ago this fall. And we just love the square because of the community. We feel like the square is kind of the heartbeat of Georgetown as a whole. It's a place where people can gather. And the community of people is really what makes it great.
It is. What are your thoughts on the square, Cody?
Oh, golly, I absolutely love it. Brad and I, we sold airplanes for about 17 years prior to this. And we came to a place to where the market kind of went flat and we wanted to diversify. And we started walking around the square one day and came across this place, which our families have put our faces and eyes on the windows for about 14 years at that point, thinking, I can't wait till someone else does something here. And it was just God's timing where he put a for lease sign right into our face. And we leased this building and had no idea what we were going to do with it. None. And we came up with all these great ideas. And ultimately, it was going to be retail in the back and a bar in the front. And we thought our bar would push the retail right out the back door. And the retail thought it was going to push it right out the front door. It just has worked perfectly somehow. They complement each other. And it's been one of the most impactful things in my life is just getting to be part of this community. And this kind of gives us a front seat to everything that happens and all the growth that's happening to Georgetown, which has been amazing.
It's crazy. I grew up in Georgetown, and I remember even as a kid thinking like there's so much opportunity here and on the square for it to just really finally become lively. And I felt that Georgetown Square kind of sat stagnant for a while.
Yeah.
And then I remember coming here probably about 7 years ago now and walking in and being like, wait, is something cool actually about to happen on the square? And so I kind of feel like y'all did pioneer this kickoff of all these new businesses on the square, some energy around here. How do y'all feel about all the continued growth, new businesses coming in? I know you're partaking in additional businesses opening up on the square. What are your thoughts on what's unfolded over the last decade here?
Well, go ahead.
We love it. Like, the square used to be where businesses came to die, we felt like. And 600, Sammy and Mark kind of blazed the trail of putting something in down here that could be viable. And so we've loved the growth. We think there needs to be a healthy mix of businesses. There needs to be boutiques and restaurants and antique shops and art stores. And there needs to be a good, healthy mix of businesses. And I think that's really what we're seeing now is folks coming in. Whereas I feel like before it was a lot of hobbies. You know, someone maybe had a shop down here that was a little bit of a hobby, and that's tough to do and make it great. Yeah. So when people are doing it for their job and long term, I think the growth is really healthy, and we know that growth is coming. We want to be a part of it. We want to be a part of the solution, not part of the problem.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, we want to be the tip of that spear, and that spear is going to go whatever direction it is, but if you're at the very point of it, helping aim, this is home for us now. I've been here now 20 years. This is a place where I want my kids to come back and want to live someday. And if we keep guiding it in the way that it has been, what's drawn the people here, and to keep it the same while developing, like Brad said, a little bit more diverse stores in the square here. And also just the attitude of our places complement each other. All of the stores here complement each other. They don't compete with each other. Raising tides raise all the ships. And so we believe in the more growth we have, and we get excited when we see new restaurants coming in, because we know that's going to expose all of our places to new people and vice versa. So it's a win-win.
Absolutely. I agree. I feel like just the energy on the square as more businesses come in and that diversity of business just helps everybody thrive. The Georgetown Square, I feel like one thing that Georgetown has done consistently well as a city since I was a kid is bring people together on the square. They love, it's called the most beautiful town square for a reason. It is such a special place. But now there are so many fun events in Georgetown. I'm like, there's something going on every weekend in Georgetown, whether it be on the square or just down the road with now, we have a music festival in Georgetown. What is your favorite event if you had to pick one?
Oh no. Ooh. For me, it's the Christmas stroll. You compact this huge event into just a few hours. So, it is go for about 4 or 5 hours that night. Then it's followed by Shop Small Saturday. Actually, yeah, Shop Small Saturday comes right after that. And so people hang out, and at that time is when we is when we turn on all the Christmas lights on the square. And it really is the most beautiful square in all of Texas.
Yeah, that lighting of the square is pretty amazing to watch it all come on. I think Sunday of Poppy Fest is my favorite because you're working so hard leading up to it, and tens of thousands of people come down here. And Friday, Saturday are crazy. Sunday is more relaxed and laid back, and we kind of get to like walk around the square with our families and enjoy it. So
finally take it in, like enjoy it a little yourself. So as a small business owner, and I know that y'all actually run multiple businesses around here, how do you even prepare for the capacity of events now? I feel like Georgetown is just blowing it out of the water with bigger, better events every time. And there's really no way to prepare for everybody that's coming in sometimes.
It's difficult, but we've got a great team behind us. And we've really grown over the years and brought a lot more people in. So that helps. Two-Step In was probably the biggest thing that we've ever done, 30,000 people in each day over 2 days.
The population, I think, was less than that in Georgetown when I grew up here.
Then not that long ago, right? And so we had 3 different things going on at Two-Step. We were serving food to the general public. We had a merchandise booth with things from here, and our wives had their hat bar. And then we were also doing all the backstage food. And, you know, if somebody asks us to do something, we're going to say, yeah, we can do it. We're going to figure it out. A lot of planning. It takes a lot of planning. But if something's going on in Georgetown, we want to be a part of it.
Yeah.
For sure. And I've had tennis elbow before, but I've never had burger elbow. But after that event, I had burger elbow. We were making 1 burger every 6 seconds on average, as fast as we could for 8 hours straight. It was insane.
So Two-Step In, if you're not familiar, it was the first of its kind music festival in Georgetown, just down the road. And that thing was such a success. I mean, it was crazy. It was so great for Georgetown. They're already bringing it back in 2024. What are you going to do different this year?
Well, we transitioned from Saturday. We learned a lot Saturday, the first day, and made changes that made Sunday a lot easier. Just a little, probably set up. You know, we figured out how to set up a little bit better to make things run a little bit smoother. But really, all in all, for our first time serving thousands of burgers in a day, I think we did pretty well. And C3 and the city did a really great job. You know, those folks, the C3 folks, knew what they're doing. They came in and there was problems on Saturday. They fixed those problems, and Sunday was better. We were a little skeptical about folks from Austin coming in and doing a big festival, but man, they knocked it out of the park, and they used as many local vendors as they could, which was our big concern, was that they were going to say that they would, and then they didn't. But man, they sure did. So we're excited to work with those guys again this coming spring.
So what is something about Mesquite Creek that people maybe have a misconception of or they wouldn't expect?
It's a great question. One of them is the animal heads in here. You know, a lot of people think it's trophies that Brad and I have killed along the way. But realistically, we have a charity called Veteran Outdoors, who surprise veterans with their dream outdoor adventures, hunting, hiking, fishing all over the world. And so a lot of these animals in here have amazing stories of a double-leg amputee hiking up a mountain for his first time, harvesting an elk. And so it's for him to remember what he was able to accomplish, a day that people supported him, loved on him, stuff like that. And so each one of these animals really has this amazing story that goes behind it.
Yeah, that is something so unique. I actually remember a couple of years ago running into you at the airport, and you were coming back from a fishing trip that I think was tied to this organization as well. And then I met the owner of Lulu's, and you had a connection with her daughter too. And I feel that y'all really are so connected in that world. What is that connection that y'all have to the veterans that you're always giving back in such a big way?
Well, neither of us served. And so 13, 14 years ago, all of our buddies were off at war, and we really felt like we were living a pretty cush life and not doing anything, but we both grew up in families with military backgrounds. So we really felt like we needed to do something, and Cody and his brother-in-law took a couple guys on a hunt who were hurt, and they're going through rehab down at BAMC in San Antonio. And I'll never forget, Cody called afterwards and he goes, "Man, this was great. It was really good for the veterans. It was great for the ranch owners." And he said, personally, it kind of filled this hole in my heart, and it just snowballed from there. And we started doing it, and over 7,000 folks later, we're still doing it. We just got back Monday from a trip that we did this weekend. So
Yeah, this past week it was 7,023.
That's amazing. Well, one, thank you to our veterans and thank y'all for supporting them. I think that's such an incredible mission and something that y'all do that people might not know about too. And I think that it does give a little peace of mind to all the dead animals in here, as you say. What's surrounding. My kids think it's great. They come in here and they just want to know about everything. So thanks for entertaining them too. And the little army men, great also. They're, you really make it family friendly. When people question having a baby in a bar, this is the bar to bring them to.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that was important to us.
Yeah, and when we built this place, our kids were much smaller than they are now. And that's really the only time that we could see them was them coming up here because we were so busy with work. But that would be the biggest misconception that I would say, or biggest thing that maybe people don't know, is that I don't really feel like it's a bar. Well, I feel like it's a family-friendly community gathering place that happens to have beer and wine.
Yeah.
And
great
so
clothes.
many great clothes. So many friendships have been made here over the years. Like some of our best friends now, we wouldn't know if it wasn't for this place. And we got a picture for some folks a few years ago that they sent us a picture of them on Thanksgiving before MCO opened, and it was just the two of them. And then they sent us a picture the next Thanksgiving after MCO opened, and there was like 25 people in the picture, and it was all people that they had met here.
And y'all have a membership here. I'm sure that helps too with all these relationships and buildings.
Oh, yeah.
What does the membership entail?
So we have a couple different memberships. We have a 1 year and a 2 year. The 1 year gets 2 beers or 2 house wines a day. The 2 year gets the same, but they also get a t-shirt of the month. We come out with a new Mesquite Creek t-shirt.
Yes. Somebody came in this morning and I was wondering, what is this that I'm not a part of? Because I have a fear of missing out, and what's going on that she's in here for this membership shirt that I don't know about. So good to know.
Yeah, well, we came up with that idea when we first, right before we opened, we should do a membership program.
Yes.
And we did a lifetime one too, and we said, well, we'll limit the lifetimes to 50, thinking there's no way anybody's going to come in here and pay for a membership or pay for a lifetime. And we sold those first 50 in, I don't know, a month or two, something crazy. And, it was one of those weird ideas that we had that we never thought would have any traction, and all of a sudden it did. So we're incredibly blessed that people bought into our vision.
Yeah. Like I said, I think it was just the missing energy that the Square needed here. So I appreciate y'all kicking that off really alongside some other great businesses that we're going to be highlighting. Final question. What is your favorite day of Mesquite Creek history?
We had a Afghan refugee that was moving here locally, and he was ready to start helping society. He was so tired of everyone doing everything for him, paying for his bills, paying for everything else. And so he got a job, but he didn't have transportation to get to that job. So we were like, you know what, we're going to help with this one last day so he can start contributing. And we put it out, probably 10 hours in advance of this event. We knew what kind of car. He had a big family, he had 7 kids, so we had to get a van. And within about this small time frame, we were able to raise almost $30,000 to buy this refugee a van and get him a car so he could start contributing.
That is awesome. Yeah,
it was pretty cool. So mine goes right along with that. Like it's community, right? So it was kind of like the best and worst day, the day we had to close down for COVID, that we all thought was going to be 2 weeks. And so we talked to one of our vendors and we got 2 weeks worth of groceries for all of our people and said, come on in, we're going to do groceries for everybody. And then everybody's going to go home, and hopefully we'll still be here when we get back in 2 weeks. And the community showed up that morning because everybody knew we were shutting down, and people came in and bought stuff that they didn't need to buy. And we're just throwing stuff on the counter because they wanted to make sure that we and our employees were going to make it through COVID. And man, that was one of the most emotional days of my life, because after everybody left, we sat down and drank a really good bottle of bourbon and didn't know if we were going to be back.
Yeah.
So the way this community steps up and helps not only us, but any great cause or person in need out there is really kind of what makes it special.
It is really, I feel like y'all do give in so much to the community, and when things like that happen that are so unexpected, seeing that give back to you all as a business is the sign of like, you've got to be doing something right. All these people coming in and supporting you in that way. So that's amazing. I know so many people that love Mesquite Creek. They love coming in here. They do feel like it's like their home, their place, their spot. Everybody's just, you created a really comfortable atmosphere. And I love seeing the businesses thrive around here. So thanks for all of your efforts in helping that happen. And I'm excited for the lifetime membership now.
Yeah.
Hopefully there's 51. There's one more left.
We made a promise. I don't know. We'll see. We'll talk off camera.